Okay, so a warm welcome to everyone, those who are joining. Lakshit on this side from Rayscale. Today we are taking you to the clouds. Your cloud journey is starting today with Azure fundamentals. And our expert speaker, Iswas Naran, is here. He's an Azure dev lead and has an incredible experience of Azure. Over to you, Iswas.
Yeah, basically what I'll be doing in this session is basically giving you all an comprehensive intro about like what are all the services that you can look forward to, what are all the things that you can really reach out in the world of DevOps or anything. Like it can be starting from creating one stupid service to utilizing it to the fullest. It's all about that. And also, Lakshit, like, how do you want me to structure this talk? Because I was not the speaker of it. Like, how do you want me to do that? So, start from the title of it so that I can just move ahead with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it would be very friendly if you will like it, make it to like beginner friendly, like those who don't know what DevOps exactly means. They just heard the name of DevOps first time, so it would be very friendly.
Yep. What I'll do is we'll just give an intro to the marketplace there. Marketplace is the best thing to reach out to because over a course of time, you can see the introduction to DevOps world, you can introduction to the Azure DevOps, and also many sessions are coming from different speakers as well. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to pioneer our ways in the DevOps world. So let me just share my screen so that you guys can see it completely about whatever I am doing. So I think you can remove that logo as well. So that would be fine, perfect for me. So that like if we do the full screen, so it will not hinder the presentation. So let's just go on with this market thing because I just wanted to give you that intro because over the course of time, I believe that marketplace, if you start analyzing, you will get that need for it. And here we are. So yes, and also there are many repositories in my GitHub, so you guys can go check out my GitHub as well. So this is my GitHub. It has many repositories. Yesterday I was learning something on Blazor. So reactor file, the Databricks Git demo, everything will be shown here. Don't worry about that. So let's get it started. So what does a marketplace say to me? So there is nothing called as an written rules here. Like you can enter it in any given form factor. Like you are not supposed to complain that the market is this and the market is that. And I am on drugs. Yes, DevOps, learning DevOps is something which is as good as on drugs. Trust me, because over a course of time, I just realized one thing that, once you get hooked to this subject, the market will obviously come back to you. Once you really know what should be your pioneering ways, the market will realize that, hey, he can add some value to the market and things like that. So, what is a DevOps? DevOps is a union of people, process, and products to enable continuous delivery of value to your end users. Like, customer is the king. We can't deny the fact that customer is not the king. Customer is the king. He really, I might write the rules, I might write some logic, but there is always a need for me to test the written code, deploy the written code. So it's always there. So it doesn't matter where you start this development process or else where you just enter the entire infrastructure that you're going through, but it's always that one niche understanding that we require. Like we need to be part of everything. So this is what it is. So I know this is a very professional slide, but I'll make sure that I just do an sharing of window because I just have to share a lot of things by the way today. So I think enter share screen is the perfect thing. I think you can share the screen. So that's perfect. We can go ahead and start working towards it. So let me just sign up with my GitHub because GitHub is added here. So don't show me this again. Perfect. So yeah, I think you're already putting it. I think I need you to remove this logo because I'll say what happens. It doesn't come out to be proper because all my demos will be vanishing. That's the problem with that thing. So I need to verify my code. So let me just go ahead and verify because I just want to give some demos here on portal and everything. So I just wanted to do that. So let me just go to my downloads and there is something called a Zoom it that I had downloaded because I want you guys to see that. And yes, it's working perfect. Yep, you guys can see the code. The code comes. So to me, why I'm showing you this, it's because it's always an ultimate governance that we are always talking towards. And there's always a need for you to analyze, like, where is my market heading towards? Like, you need to know where is your market heading towards. And over a course of time, I feel that this is the best thing that you can reach out to. Let me just copy that. This is not the mouse that I used to use regularly. So yeah, I think it's done. So simple portal looks like this. You will not even have this. If you have a subscription, it will just give you this Azure subscription, and that's it. It doesn't give you that. So let's just go on with what is it all about when we are thinking about this technology and the things like that. So continuous integration is always a part of an improvement process where you're actually trying to see what are all the vulnerabilities which are there, what are all the code modifications that I can really build on the market and the things like that. So there is a market research that is going on, and your developers are developing, and there is always a chance that you get a sort of a vulnerability inside your code. And this is where continuous integration comes into the picture. Is continuous? We don't know that. It depends on how well you have defined your culture. So next we talk about the continuous delivery. Continuous delivery, the deployment is a process where you are now trying to learn every bits and the pieces of an infrastructure, and you're now trying to, like, hey, I have this much amount of a software written, and this has given me this many artifacts. So let me just distribute them all to different targets, and let me just mint money on it. So this is where continuous deployment comes in. So continuous learning and monitoring is always this one thing that always comes into the picture, because I'll show you one of the service which is there in the Sentinel. So it's a very good security service. You guys can go check out what is the Sentinel. As soon as you type in Sentinel, you guys will get there. So this is a Microsoft Sentinel that you are really working towards. So I'll show you one of the examples of another company which is doing the same old Sentinel as well. So I think let me just turn off all the things. So close that. So Spotify, I don't want it. This is not my laptop. This is my sister's. HashiCorp Sentinel. So yeah, if you think of what is the Sentinel framework, what is it happening? So Sentinel is just an analysis that you're going to do. It's called as a policy as code, governance as code. Don't worry about that. As soon as you go advanced in your studies, you'll get to know what is happening in all these industry. So Sentinel is just like an policy which is going to be as rigid as a soldier. So what is a sentinel? So sentinel meaning. So a sentinel is a definition for a soldier or a guard whose job is to stand and keep watching. And that means it's continuous, and it's just going to be forever. This is what the definition says now. And in medicine, it's an indicator of the presence of disease. Yes. Why do we need all these kind of an definition? Because your system might just go down at any given point of time. Just say this is an Azure Cosmos DB, this is an NoSQL. So NoSQL DB. So when you're thinking of a NoSQL DB, and when you're turning into all different sort of complexities which are there in your system, you have a sort of an breakage out there. Like, let's say it's all JSON that you define here. Let's say there is a JSON where you have made a lot of blunder out there, and you really wanted to do that, and it didn't work out. So what will you do? So Sentinel is always a kind of an analysis that you do. It has a lot of visualization, by the way. So let me just show you that portal, how to create it and how to start working towards it, and you guys will understand why is it so frustrating when you have such kind of an infrastructure. When you don't have these kind of services, you'll obviously get frustrated. So yeah, so Sentinel in Azure. So it's better that I go to the documentation as well, because over the course of time, this is what will be your Bible. And to be very frank, there is two other services called as Vagrant and Pacman, but nobody gives a damn about that, because today it's something which is more phenomenal. Because over a course of time, Sentinel, when these kind of architecture got introduced into all these kind of services, everybody forgot the fact that we are just going to deploy at scale, things like that. But everybody is now talking about security today. So Pacman is good. Vagrant is good if you want to run some sort of a virtual machine and a file system. Vagrant is good and Pacman is good, but this is what it is. So you guys can see that how many operating locations are there, and you can see how many triggers and alerts are coming over time. Everything, the visualization happens seamlessly, and it's basically a plug and play kind of a stuff. You need not have to worry about it. So automate common tasks and the threat responses. So you can use logic apps. So what you can see is a logic app and you can start working towards it. So this is what it is. So create a new workspace. Let me just create a new workspace. Let me just type in new one too, because that should be my resource group. You can type it anything because it's going to be in your Azure portal, so don't worry about that. So pay as you go per GB 2018. Yeah, like log analytics. So what I told about it, it's basically an analytics tool and it's everything. So when you just create it, it will just create and it will just give you a sort of an introduction towards all the services that is always there. Like you guys can start working towards like, okay, this is what we needed. So what next? And everything is sorted for you. So let me just go to one thing and let me just cancel this because it's costly, by the way. It's very costly, by the way. So this is what I was talking about. So when you are thinking about learning something, monitoring something, Azure has everything end to end. Like it has DevOps embedded inside it. So it's Azure DevOps organization. You have to go to the organization. So let me just show you what was it all about. So Azure DevOps organization is going to be a complete end-to-end infrastructure for your repositories, for everything that you're talking today. I think Vishwas got done. I think completely deployment has been done. So why to waste time? So let's just go ahead and see what is happening. So you guys can look at it. So there is log analytics done for data sources, the configuration monitoring, everything has been taken care. And you can see about like how can you maximize the analytics and the services, manage alerts, manage usage of the cars, share the workbooks. Like it's basically like you're logging something over a course of time. Let's me just say you want to attach a VM or something, it's always there. So I've not created a VM, but you can attach a VM and you can think like, okay, what should be the next move that is going to happen, or else you can have some storage accounts. You can add some storage accounts. So there are none of it, so I deleted all of them, so there is none of it. So there's no point in doing that, so you can delete them as well. So I just type in new one two and I can delete it, and everything in that service will go out and nothing will be there for you. So you guys can see that there is only one resource group and it had only one Sentinel thing that was built. So right now, when we come to a broader definition of DevOps, this is what it is. It's very difficult to understand, okay, this is what we are doing. So this AR is an Azure DevOps definition completely, and this is an just a definition of the DevOps that we are thinking about. So it's IT operation and the software development combined together, which is just giving you out that sustainability in the market. So what is DevOps? It's all a SaaS product, which is just going to be an end-to-end solution for your code, for your deployments, for your Scrum, and everything. So DevOps is a purpose for an institution. At the end of the day, when you think of all the things that can go wrong in a company, it's a purpose for an institution. You just know what is the need of an hour. So why is this? I was just looking for a purpose in engineering and things like that, and it really caught up my mind. And let me just jump to the basic thing. So these are some of the definitions that we just take out, because DevOps is not just tools, that's not just everything in an application, not even about the process. It can break and make an institution at the end of the day. So it's a purpose for an institution. You can take this definition, you can take this as a culture about an architecture and everything. It's always inevitable that a system will break, so don't worry about that. And also it's chaos statistical analysis which comes into the picture, and that's what it's the best move that you can do today. So there are some amazing stories in DevOps. You guys can go check out this link. This link, I have really been very glad that I was able to procure all the resources, and some of the books are here, so do check it out as well. So three amazing books. If you want to be very great in IT operation, hook on to these books, and these are amazing books that you can think about. So as always, organization must always adapt towards it quickly. So this is what organizations need to do. So yes, so if you can think of all these repositories that I'm putting here, there is DevOps inside it. Like it might look there is no DevOps, but there is DevOps inside it. So I think I can show you one of my Azure ML by vishwas.web.app. Azure ML Vishwas. Yes, so Azure ML Vishwas.web.app. I just wrote some notebooks which actually has DevOps inside it. I've deployed in different environments and things like that. So you guys can check out how to do ML on Docker, effective utilization is not there. So DevOps organization. So I think using the PyTorch, TensorFlow, notebooks are coming very soon. Don't worry about that. So Docker, so effective utilization is not there. So data in Azure, so data store, how to do this, how to do that, everything end to end I have given there. So DevOps organization. So I think this is going to be a little theoretical, so just bear with me for that. So end of the discussion. So it's always about how the organization need to adapt. So keywords of early architecture is like we have to do everything, and now their dream was to just like we just need to run that application. So we need to go there. So top 10 clouds, it's always there in front of you. So AWS first, Azure next, GCP, Alibaba, Salesforce, all these things are there for you. So I would say that you guys have to just move ahead and start working on these kind of reports. SEC reports are always there, so do check it out. And some amazing institution for DevOps. This is a Puppet, which is an amazing organization which does every almost of the year you can see state of the DevOps report is from this company itself, and it's very addictive, by the way. So journey started with CERN website, which was 1992, and this really changed the market. And this was the first website of Amazon, and today they are amazing. So you guys can go check out all the talks and things like that. So let's just not go too much of all the things. So let's just end up with what was the industry all about. So industry was always on a bare metal server, and now they saw that there is virtual machines that we can build on all these bare metal servers, and let's just start using it. And next there were containers, which containers were used extensively in order to give you that logical understanding of usage of the compute resources. Hey, you are just wasting the compute resources by running a lot of VMs. Let's just containerize it. Containerization was already there. Unix was already rocking the world with containerization, but Docker really changed the way in which we are working. And now functions as a service came in. So this really marked the beginning of the serverless architecture. So it's EC2, Lambda, GCP functions, Azure functions, Lambdas, and everything that we are talking here. So there are amazing services which are already there. So the timestamps always is like before 2013 and after 2013, what happened in the industry and things like that. But over a course of time, as long as there was containerization, there was a need to scale it. So Borg and Omega were the projects from Google, and now they were improvising every single day. So let's just talk about Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps is very cool. There are different set of functionalities that you can look forward to in an AI system that you're building today. Like let's say there is an code which runs like this, and you want to really understand what was really happening. And now you have an AI system which can really build up to that entire infrastructure. So how do you automate that? So you need all these tools to automate it. So now Azure has it. So by the way, GitHub Actions is an amazing DevOps platform. So I can show you one of them. I have done many out there. So github.com is here. So it's github, github.com. So github.com. I don't know why some online turns into that kind of thing. So you guys can see what I did with GitHub Actions. I think that web app is not there, but I can show you the actions which got done, right? You know, I'm now talking about deployment to this website, but this will not start working. It's a Blazor application. It's a boilerplate Blazor application. Boilerplate Blazor application. I don't know complete .NET development. I'm very new to it. I've never worked on it. So I think yeah, I think this is what you get as a setting there. So you guys can go that, check out. I just changed here and there, and everything started working. So this was the actual website that was actually built yesterday. So yeah, this is running on a Firebase, so don't worry about that. So what it is doing is the same old CI and CD. So it's building the artifacts and now trying to deploy it to an application. And now this is what it is. So always it's YAML and JSON, which is the language of DevOps, can't help that. So Azure has two DevOps tool suits. Like Azure really has two DevOps tool suite, and they're rocking the world with it. And let's just talk about boards. So connecting ideas to releases, Scrum ready to help teams run sprint stand-ups and plan work, integrate GitHub commits and pull requests. Like you guys can integrate anything. So let me just show you one of the services where you can start integrating with GitHub as well. So let's just go to a DevOps organization. So my DevOps organization is here. And you guys can think about like what is going to be the essence of all these marketplace that we are looking forward to. So is there any comments? Yeah, do we have Azure AZ series on? Yes, AZ 104. I think probably the series that Tarun Marva sir is taking, it's always there. So I think which is this? I don't know which was this, but I think, oh yeah, hands-on Azure DevOps. So okay, fine, that's cool. So let's just go through this and let me just know what was happening. And /1 2 is always there. So let's see what really happened in this project. So there is only boards running. There is nothing running there. That's also fine. So let's just go look at what boards are. So let's just do a new epic, a work item that I really wanted to build on. So let's say Vishwas is here. So what it's actually doing is it's basically analyzing the task and giving it to the people and saying that, hey, nobody has been assigned to this and things like that, and you can start working towards it. You can email it, by the way, to any person. Like I let me just show you. It's narayan2345 at gmail.com. And all right, it's not there in the organization, so it didn't come up. And that's it, folks. This is what you call the magic of all these kind of infrastructure that you're talking today. Like, you guys can go check out any number of code, any number of builds that can happen, and here it is. So let's just analyze everything very easily, because let me just go and check out what is happening here. So now Azure repos are always there. So there is a Git repository which is now doing the TFVC. Repos is always there. Team Foundation version control repos are always there. So there is a code and review via branch and pull request. Like just like how you do GitHub, you can still go back and look at what are the codes which are running out there, and you can start analyzing one by one. And later on, you have a cloud hosted pipeline on Linux, Mac OS, and Windows machine. Like there is a trade-off that goes behind all these kind of machines, right? You need to update your local machines. You need to just give out that one understanding, like, hey, how can we start using the latest version of the Linux, the latest version of the Mac OS, or the latest version of the Windows? And here you have as a solution there. So now pipelines are always very easy to build. So they are like pick and place, but very effective in terms of what an architecture needs to be built. And there are different stage releases. Like if you go for static web apps and on Azure stages, the guys can see that, right? This entire infrastructure that I am talking here is very, very wisely used. And there is no requirement for you to think whether the AI will break or the ML will start coming. Like everything will start in your ways. Like you can see, okay, I have staging production, testing production. There is a dev environment that I'm thinking forward to, and you can really mess with any of the things, but you can really deploy it whenever you require. And the pools are nothing but the same old VMs that we are talking here. and everything is sorted for you. You need not have to do much here. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an end-to-end deployment pipeline which can assist you at any given cost. So monitoring, of course, yes, you guys have an amazing set of monitoring and amazing set of releases that can happen. Like these are all the matrix build that you can think about. A matrix build is something like you have one set of code and you're building it, and you have the next process which is parallelly running it. And amazing tool set to check it out. I'll just show you everything. So initializing the jobs, everything just came into the picture. So as soon as it succeeded, it just gives you that logs out there. It's a very beautified logs. You guys can check out line by line and you can start working. And Azure artifacts are there. Azure Artifact provides developers with an integrated package management, include support for Maven, Node.js packages, that's NPM, Python, Nugget packages is for the .NET devs, and there are different feeds that you can also develop. There is wheel files that you can develop and things like that. So it's always there for you. So Azure test plans are always there. This service provides an integrated all-in-one plan for exploratory testing solution. So as soon as you test something, you really have that understanding, right? Hey, how can I really work towards it? And there you have it. You have an end-to-end pipeline that you can deploy out there. So what are the benefits of Azure DevOps? Times to access the new feature is very less. So every 3 weeks there is a user update which can be seen. So nothing to fiddle around with what are all the things that you need to work towards, but this is an end-to-end pipeline that you can really work towards. There is no upgrades to worry about. So you just can really reach out to any of the infrastructure at any given point and you can start working there. And reliability is there, so there is always a 24/7, and there is a 99.9% service level agreement that is always given from the Azure. Service level agreement, to a very lame person understanding in a layman language, is something like, hey, I am going to give you 99.9% accuracy of uptime at any given point of time. Whenever you click on it, it's 99.9%, it's there in front of you. So this is what a service level agreement is all about. And it's flexible. DevOps team doesn't want to just fully suit off services. They can acquire them independently. Like, and anybody can start working on Azure boards. Anybody can start working on the Artifactory management. They can work on the IAM roles, and they can work on any different sort of services, and they can adapt as the need comes in. So it's a cloud agnostic and it's a platform agnostic thing. You guys can develop on any platform. You can deploy on any cloud. You can also deploy on AWS and GCP if you have a proper credentials which is already built. So to me, this is what an ultimate support for the governance and the policy that we are talking here. So this is the best part about it. So complete advantage of Jenkins and everything is always bought in from the Azure DevOps itself. So Jira is something which is from the Confluence. So if you can see my other sessions that I've delivered, it's all about that. So Jenkins is always there. It's a build pipeline. It's an artifactory management thing that is always going there. So just use that. So TFS is always there. So lifecycle management and things like that. You can think about any of the applications that you're building here, and tomorrow you want to run on something, here it is for you. So right now, don't start worrying about anything. It's just like key audience for the Azure DevOps market is huge. It's not just Azure DevOps or anything. There is AWS, which is coming up with amazing DevOps tools as well. But Azure is much more very SaaS-based one, which is as an end-to-end solution for it. You need not have to do much of a work. You just need to just get them in, and you are good to go. So right now, it's also about like fault tolerance. What I've shown here, like it can bust out somewhere, but all other regions will be running. So it's always right. Training and consulting service providers, DevOps vendors, there are cloud service providers, telecommunication service providers, system integrators, government agencies are still using Azure DevOps. So let me just go to this thing called as Azure Customer, Azure DevOps. So you guys can see that how many services are there and a lot of things. But let me just go you how these companies are still using it. So I think Chevron is not a good one, but I think Braun is good. But I think this would be an amazing case study. This I had read it, so that's why I'm saying you scale DevSecOps. So now we are talking about DevSecOps. So you just can go click on it. You guys can log in with it, and you will get a DevSecOps handbook here for you. So you guys can see that, right? There is HD Insights, which is for your Spark workloads, DevOps, IoT Hub, Resource Managers, IoT is being used, and entirely Azure is dependent on whatever they are just using, and they are now putting it in a form of a customer story. You guys can see that like how easy it is to use Azure DevOps. With Azure DevOps and DevOps practices, we accelerate time to market up to 90%. That means 90% of the time that they are up there, they are not worrying about how much are they deploying. They are now like how much of features can we add here, and this is how it is. And there is something called as low rollback mechanism. Rollback mechanism in DevOps. So in DevOps, when you think of what is a rollback and rollback always mechanism, is like these are the truly unleashed technology jargon that you can actually just chant every single day. A rollback mechanism is something like you now had a version which was stable, and now we are rolling back to that version because the future version that you had deployed right now had a lot of bugs, and it really didn't work out well. And this is what your rollback mechanism is all about. So there is always a rollback and rollback always mechanism which is always there for your things. So you guys can see that how much of an influence that Azure DevOps has really brought to the market when we consider such kind of an application. So let me just do the sub-market analysis, which is already there, because when you think of a sub-market analysis, you can think of all these kind of marketplace that you're trying to influence here, right? So DevOps market by type, solution and the service. What do you call the product based and the service based companies are solutions and the services. DevOps market by deployment models, public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud. DevOps market by organization size. There is a large enterprise edition of software that can be going through, and there are small and medium sized enterprises which are also using it. So market is always there in all the sectors that we are using, and this is where they are heading towards. So DevOps are sub marketplaces in the world. These are some of the regions which they have started to work, and there's West US 2 and other regions which are already being added. But to me, I feel that this is one of the region-wise analysis, and this is one of the map that can really give you that understanding. Like, hey, this is what we wanted, and now we are having it. I think there is no region in Russia, but there are some ultimate regions which are already built. So, end of the talk, what we really wanted to do was DevOps and microservices in the scientific systems are also evolving. So, scientists are using Azure DevOps. There are there are technicians who really rely on what can Azure DevOps bring on the market. So, growth market is always there. So, global DevOps market share by industry 2018 is always there by this DevOps adoption that we are talking here. This DevOps adoption is much more unique, and these features are really enriching for people who are really going back to the organization, who are just relying on such kind of an infrastructure to be deployed. And over a course of time, what DevOps really bought on the market is really huge thing, and what Azure DevOps can really bring on the market is something phenomenal. So at the end of the day, it's always that high performance that we are looking forward to. It's a faster deployment, increased revenue, 46% deployment free, 46 times the deployment frequency, 7x the lower change in failure rates, 2,555 times the faster lead time to the changes. Yes, because you are now using an cloud hosted services and it can scale up to any requirement. So I always say this: when you are using agent pools, VMs on the center, you're actually taking a part of the data center, and that part can really be much more flexible, can be scalable at any given point of time. So you guys can see that. So this is one of the books, Accelerate the State of the DevOps Strategies for the Economy. So Nicole Forsgren and all these guys from the Dora gave this entire thing. So if you think of open source, yes, it's very free. If you think of small team of 5 users, Start free up to 5 users. Of course, you can start free up to 5 users as in the free tier. But if you have an amazing set of workloads, you guys can go check out this entire service which is there. And I think I have given a set of references here. You guys can go check out all the links. These are some of the research papers on the DevOps, so you guys can go check it out. So let's just go to the portal, and enough talking, by the way. Portal.azure.com is here. So I think I've already logged in. So let's just go to the Azure DevOps organization. Sorry for that. I don't know why the pipelines don't work in my entire thing, but owner is there. So that's perfect. So let me just create a new organization. No, let's just go with the projects which are already being created. So it's always there. So you guys can see that, right? All these pipelines, test plans, DevOps, repos, boards, artifacts are already being given there. So what you guys can do is you guys can go check out all the services which are there written in all the services that we have. So you guys can go check out everything that we are seeing. And yes, I'll share the link here. So sorry for that. I didn't do much of an homework. It was instant call, and I had to come here and I had to give some talk here. So yes, and DevOps market is here. Market which was slides. I think I'm just giving you the tiny URL, so it's in a private chat. I think Lakshit do put it down in the comment section down there. I think Azure DevOps seems interesting. Yes, because we really target the marketplaces which are already very much required. Dot question mark. Yes. So I would say that over a course of time we just realized one thing, that hey, how can we just get that entire end-to-end solution? I think Azure DevOps is what we really wanted. Can you share the slides? Yes. And all those links are still there in the reference section there, so you guys can also the GitHub profile. Yes, I can give you the GitHub profile as well. So it's which was 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Not a big deal, but I think I can give you the GitHub profile as well. So it's here. So my GitHub is github.com/GitHub 1 2 3 4. So you guys can go check out all the repositories that we are giving here. So it's a useful thing, because over a course of time you will also realize that it's very easy to just not to do much at any given point. So I think that's the best thing that you can really start working towards, like, hey, I and that's it, folks. I think that's it from my side. I think thank you so much for being part of this entire session. I think it was great doing it. I didn't know instantly I had to come and do the session here, but it was great talking to you folks. And any doubts, any queries, do reach out to me as soon as possible. I'll just get it done quick. And I think do share your questions. So perfect. Do reach out to me on LinkedIn. It's very simple. It's Vishwas N. I'll share my profile as well. And I'm very sorry for not preparing for this instantly also, because I don't know what happened. No, today I was not in a mood of delivering a talk, but I had to deliver a talk because it's my team which was being part of here, so I had to do that. So I think in the private chat I'll even put my LinkedIn profile, so you guys can go check out my LinkedIn as well. Any resources from where I can start DevOps from scratch? There's no scratch thing here. You just need to go hands on. So I would say start with GitHub Actions. Start with GitHub Actions. There is no start. So start with GitHub Actions and just move your hands on towards the tools called as Circle CI, Argo CD, and things like that, and you will be much more well versed with it. And there is any resources where I can start from scratch? There is no resources. You just have to go out and check out what is happening. Is there a session cover? Is this session covers alone AZ 400 exam? Is there first session of the series? It's very difficult to do DevOps in 1 hour. Sorry for that, because it's very difficult to even give you that understanding. So whatever I have given in my slides, it's good enough for you to have that introduction. And later on, you can pursue more of that AZ 400 and everything will be sorted for you. I think thanks, brother. Thanks, Rishit, Garg. Yeah, I think it's always there. And Lakshit, I think end of the
Uh,
session, bro. Sorry for
so
not
okay, so
preparing.
no worries, you have given an incredible session. No, never doubt. So those who are saying like the
Yeah, Lakshit. Okay, so there's no. I think Lakshit, you're offline now. No network. I think whatever you think. Yeah. No. I think you guys can use my slides. Don't worry about that. Just give me an credit that you're using my slides. That's it. It's good enough. So you guys can check out anywhere. You guys can start working and learning from the slides. It's all there for you. So you need not have to worry about like, hey, I don't have any resources. Everything can be started. Do you have any series on Azure administrators? Srinivas, I would say you one thing. I have forgotten the fact that I am going to write exams. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to prepare as many YouTube videos as I can. So I can share you my YouTube channel. So I do a lot of DevOps chat series with amazing leaders from. I think you guys should know a lot of companies like ABB, Google, and things like that. I call those professionals from those companies, and I start working on them. And you guys can check out my channel, which is there here. So it's a link that I'm sharing with Lakshit. Or else you can have that link called as Vishwas and podcast or something. I forgot that. Google Slides are here. So let's just go there and check out. Okay.
okay, so Srinivas, you are saying like, do you have any series for AZ104 Edge or Administrator? So stay
No,
tuned
no.
in.
I
We
think
have a lot of things planned for the events, like experts like Viswas, and we have so many experts, so many events scheduled
coming
for
up, yeah, like
coming up. So many events. So stay tuned in. We have a lot of amazing things. Okay, so yes, right
and
now,
no slides
any
from
slides?
my side. AZ104, I don't have any slide streamers. I have really lost the threshold of doing slides for everything. But DevOps is something which is very close to my heart. So that's why I'm just doing slides. But I would say, like, the future sessions that I'll be taking for AZ104 will be more of a pen and a paper thing. So it will be more on the whiteboard. So you guys have to write notes. So it will be much more
That
easier for you as well.
pen and paper is the most incredible way of learning. I
Yeah.
agree with this. So I guess no one is having any questions, so we can just end
End
this
the
live
broadcast.
session now.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Swast, having a speaker as you. We just it's our total pleasure to have you as a speaker. So thank you guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much, folks. Bye.